What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Ahmed Hassanein Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifata Melafano of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, Lions Talk Live, Monday show edition. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend edition. Anyways, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about some news that's come out of Detroit about the potential. It would appear that Ahmed Hassanein is doing far better than anticipated, that he's even hired, apparently, or gotten some people to offer to work with him. Maybe that's a better way to determine it, because I don't know if he's actually paying them. But at any rate, it sounds like some people are interested in working with him, have been working with him, helping the rookie come in, develop, and have as great an opportunity to succeed in this offseason, to get ready for, OTAs, training camp, everything in between. Hey, we all know the guy's story. I'm not going to waste all the time in this morning talking about it, but what we're going to be able to find out is there are a lot of people putting more and more interest in this kid. Ahmed, hey, he made national media attention, whatever you want to say, Rich Eisen show and everything, for how he was drafted, the emotional phone call. You even see it in some of our intros, not all the intros. You'll get it, though, but we'll dive into that during the main topic of the day. We'll get into the 5 headlines now and everything in between. Before we get into both of those segments, so if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are, 60, 70 subs, something like that, away from hitting 13,800. If you can help out with that, I surely would be thankful. Also, if you have a free moment of time, it doesn't cost a dime. Reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, that like button, whatever you call it button. Helps the channel out exponentially. We try to get every episode of the show between 2, 3, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan or anywhere in the continental United States, you can reach out to me. Give me a call. Shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen. 269-998-2384. I guess it's even fair to say if you're looking for property in, Canada or Mexico or internationally, you can contact me too. A number of people, I was not aware of this, a number of fellow realtors who work in other countries have reached out to me and said, hey, if you get anybody who's looking for something in this country, this area, go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text. I could try to help you out as best I can with those things. If it's in the state of Michigan, I can work with you directly. I know a number of people over the years with the Duke Crew have asked me to help out with them buying or selling property. I'll do the best I can to save you time, save you money, make the process a whole lot easier. You see the number on the screen. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, had to double check and make sure I don't have a mute on. I did that a couple days ago. My bad. Let's get the show into the first segment. And as you probably know by now, if you watch this channel for any length of time, that is 5 headlines now. We got a few headlines for you today going into and starting the work week. Hey, 5 headlines now. Reviewing Detroit Lions 2024 finds totals. Story by Christian Boer of SI.com. The Lions did incur a few things here and there. Leading the team along the way, most of you guys would probably guess this, was Brian Branch, who was fined or paid to the NFL offices. Maybe that's a better way to term it. Roughly $71,000. Yes, I'm rounding up here. He was about 100 off of that, but you get the point. Branch struggled at times with helmet-to-helmet contact, which can be the result of playing with his pace. And you know what? The veracity he plays at, he comes downhill on everybody and lays the wood, lays the boom. I think most of us would agree on the wet, slippery, sloped surface of Lambeau Field, the one that got him ejected, the one that got him a fine. I don't know, man. I still probably would disagree with that. It's hard without asking a player to cause individual to themselves physical damage to all of a sudden stop on a dime when a guy is or isn't going to catch a pass. Remember, these guys are coming downhill at 20-some miles per hour, going to hit that guy. The fact that he bobbles it, doesn't catch it, hey, especially on that wet surface, I thought the NFL did an injustice there. But it is what it is. The NFL also likes trying to establish their authority over players and make sure they are in control, not the players. Branch was ejected, like I was saying, that was the first half of Week 9's game against Green Bay Packers. That helmet-to-helmet hit alone cost him, we'll just say, $20,000. Branch was also fined in Week 3 for use of his helmet, Week 10 for a hip drop tackle, and Week 16 roughing the passer. I love the way he plays. I hope he doesn't change. The only one I can really say I had egregious differing opinions with was the one in Green Bay, and I'm guessing so did most of the Lions fans. Of course, Green Bay Packers fans felt it was justified. Jameson Williams was fined on multiple occasions for his celebrations. He was fined Week 4 for taunting after dunking the ball through the goalpost. Week 11 for mimicking Marshawn Lynch's celebration at the end of his legendary touchdown run against the Saints. Week 16 for taunting after a first down. Williams also got fined for a touchdown celebration after scoring against the Washington Commanders in the divisional round of the playoffs. He also missed 2 games due to his suspension, even though that really doesn't have anything to do with it. It did cost him some money, though. I think we all also remember against the Chicago Bears, him flipping, I can't remember the guy's name, the cornerback, flipping the ball at him. It was only after they really showed the whole video of what happened. The guy tripped him on the sidelines. I think most Lions fans then started saying, hey, this wasn't on Jameson Williams. This is a response to the guy tripping him. And then also, I want to say at Chicago, something similar like that happened to the sideline. And again, when you watch the full video, you probably understand a little bit more about it. Rookie cornerback Terrion Arnold was fined twice, once for a face mask and the other one for striking, kicking, kneeing. Safety Kirby Joseph received 2 fines, one for his hit on a defensive player and the other for unsportsmanlike contact after pushing San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Juwan Jennings in the first round first row of the crowd, excuse me. Most of you guys remember that after the play, a bunch of stuff happened, stuff got into it. The players defending players. Kirby Joseph, if he doesn't make that play, the Lions actually don't give up a score there, but it is what it is, man. Sometimes emotions happen, and you do want the people to play with emotions. Going through a few more here, and then going to the next headline. Don't want to spend all day on each player that was fined. Defensive lineman Levi Onwuzurike and Zadarius Smith were each fined once for roughing the passer, while Amon-Ra St. Brown received a taunting fine. Former linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maven was also financially hit after a late hit in Week 3. So you can go through it all. Those were the fines to the team. Some of them I thought, man, really kind of a reach by the NFL and those who review it in the PA office. But other ones, not so much. Christian Mahogany, even though he played in a couple games, he was fined roughly $5,000. Kewan Alexander, roughly $7,000. Same with Zadarius Smith. Jalen Reeves-Maven and Amon-Ra St. Brown, both $11,225. Levi Onwuzurike, we'll just round up and say $14,000. Kirby Joseph, $15,000. Terrion Arnold, $23,000. Jameson Williams, $70,000. And Brian Branch, roughly $71,000. So yes, the Lions did pay out some fines this year. Or last year, I guess it was. All right, predicting Lions end of the season record after 2025 schedule release. Fan side story by Candace Perez. So I'm only bringing this one up for one simple reason. Last week we had Jeff Risdon's prediction. I know some of you guys took some, umbrage or didn't agree with some of the game-by-game predictions. But hey, keep in mind, just because somebody predicts it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So take it with a grain of salt and wait and see what happens. All right, let's go through this particular one and see what they say. Hey, Week 1 at Packers, Lions going to go 1-0. Doesn't give a score, just says Lions going to win. Week 2 against the Bears, 2-0 are the Lions according to this prediction. Week 3 at Ravens, Lions get their first loss this season. I think most of us could say, I could see it happening. Doesn't mean it will happen, but could see it happen. Lions 2-1. Week 4 against the Browns, 3-1. Week 5, Lions at Bengals, 4-1. Week 6, Lions at Chiefs, 5-1. You got to be feeling pretty good if you're a Detroit Lions fan at that point. Week 7, Lions versus Bucks, 6-1 on the year. And you know what? The bye week, we're gonna win that one too. Get some good rest. Week 9, coming out of the bye, facing the Lions versus Vikings, 7-1. I like this way. We're getting the predictions. Week 10 at the Commanders, 7-2. Week 11, Lions at Eagles, 7-3. Get right in Week 12, Lions versus Giants, 8-3. Let's see, Packers on Thanksgiving. I don't know about this one, but hey, anything's possible. Week 13, Lions versus Packers, 8-4. Week 14, Cowboys, 9-4. Week 10 at Rams, 10. Week 15, Lions at Rams, 10-4. Week 16, Lions versus Steelers, 11-4. Week 12 at Vikings, 12-4. And then week 18, Lions at Bears, 12-5 to end the year. Final record, 12-5, winning the NFC North. What do you guys think of that one? Hey, I think anything that has the Lions around 10 to 13 wins is probably got a pretty good chance of hitting. We'll see what shakes out this upcoming season. All right, Dan Skipper, NFL international games are, quote, a joke, end quote. The last word in sport by Emmett, I'm going to kill this last one, Mavatowski. So what I'll say is it does appear the vast majority of Lions fans, let me rephrase that, the vast majority of NFL fans, let alone coaching staffs, front offices, are not fans of the international games. You know, so to break it on down, just think about this. How many players and coaches you got to get on a plane to now travel over there, plus support staff, plus medical staff, training staff, etc. You're looking at teams having to transplant over a course of a week, somewhere around 300, 400 people, and then take them over there, keep them over there. You know, the Vikings are playing 2 straight weeks, so half a month overseas and not in the same location. You've got to get all those people lodging, food, transportation, laundry service. You think about everything that goes into it. And now you're asking them to get overseas in places maybe they aren't familiar with cultures and customs you're not accustomed to. Most of you guys know I've coached and scouted overseas. And let me tell you, it is a tough transition for most Americans. And let me rephrase that even. Most people, doesn't matter if you're American or not, but you go into somebody else's turf, play by their rules. It does take an adjustment. Things you're normally allowed to have at home, maybe you can't have there. And you probably all know some legal reasons that the NFL really has to safeguard players, coaches, etc. when they go overseas because of those different rules. That being said, Dan Skipper went on a podcast, it would appear yesterday, went off on a little bit of a thought process in regards to it, and said he hopes that in his time in the NFL, he's never having to be a part of the Detroit Lions who go over there. He does point out that he does believe, and it sounds like talking to him or listening to him, most NFL players are under the idea in the next foreseeable future, next 5-10 years, you are going to see NFL teams emerge outside the borders of the United States. He didn't name any places. I think most would say probably Mexico is a strong possibility. Probably somewhere in Europe like UK or something like that could emerge. Will it happen? I don't know. Some people do quote the air travel, but I will point this out. The difference from any LA team going to the East Coast, the flight time is longer than going from, say, New York to London. So, food for thought there. But Skipper talked about a lot of different things, even went on about the NIL transfer portal and how bad it is in his opinion, for college sports, let alone football. So if you get a free time today, you want to go check out Dan Skipper talking to the media about all these different topics, go ahead and check it out. I actually think he's got some good points on a number of those topics. All right, next to the 5 headlines out, Lions forcing young player into backup role after injuries. Fan side story by Javon Alford. The young player in question here is a familiar one to Lions fans and someone we haven't seen a lot out of yet. You could even argue maybe anything. Enos Rakestraw is going to be put into, it would appear, the backup nickel spot going into training camp. Now, that doesn't mean he can't emerge and take over a starting spot in the lineup, but they're going to try him out a lot there. They're also going to play him a lot at the X or outside cornerback spots this preseason. They want to see what he can do, but they're putting a lot into him to see, can he shine or is he going to bust? We'll have to wait and find out. We all get last year, the Lions had a lot of injuries. It's a dead story at this point. Lions also want to make sure they can do everything they can to make sure, one, their starters this preseason get some reps. It does sound like, I can't quote you on that, it sounds like it. They also want to make sure they're more interested in giving 70 to 80% of those snaps to backups that they see could be key contributors this year. We've talked about it for a month or two now. Probably this team's biggest strength, other than all the weapons they have on offense and defense, is the depth and the developmental players they brought in. Could be a segue in today's main topic of the day. Ray Straw, hey, he's got all the speed. He's got all the athleticism. He's got all the stuff you can't teach. Now, can he stay healthy, get out there, and make this secondary even better? It sounds like the Lions coaching staff has that in mind. All right, last the 5 headlines now. Aiden Hutchinson expected to have, quote, prolific sack production. Story by John Macaron of SI.com. You know, you can have your thoughts on what's going to happen this year with Aiden Hutchinson. I can have my thoughts. Nothing can be right. All of it can be right, or it can be somewhere in between. What we can say, there is more and more evidence coming out that Aiden Hutchinson's expectations for himself are to be a front-running, one of the best players in the NFL. He went on to talk with Cody Benjamin over the weekend, talked on a different podcast, talked about the recovering from the injury, talked about last season for the Lions, everything he's had to go into and through with the recovery process, and he just came out and said flat out, quote, I'm here to win. I'm here to get us to the championship. I'm here to get my sack production to a high level in the Motor City. Yes, his technically sound play should enable him to slip right back into production. That's coming from one of the coaches there talking to Cody Benjamin. We've all seen the videos of Aiden Hutchinson recovering. Hey, you can have your thoughts on the videos. I can only tell you what I see. I see a guy who he's looking pretty healthy in my eyes. I know some of you guys will point out, well, it looks like there's a little bit of, I don't know, something with one of his ankles. I'm not sure about that. I guess we'll find out in time. What we can find out, and now getting right from Aiden Hutchinson's mouth, is that his expectations are to push and be an MVP front runner. He has that kind of belief. He's A-okay, according to him. There's nothing wrong with his leg or anything. He feels, quote, great, and he's ready to go out there and have a monstrous season. He's got a lot of help on that defense now. I think we all get it. Lions got players at every level of the defense, including Aiden Hutchinson. We can all probably agree, if he is healthy, Hutchinson is, I don't know, one of the top 5 defensive ends in the league. And if you don't want to say he's top 5, then probably at the very least top 10. Yes, he's got to go out on the field and prove that he's back. But it does sound like, according to him, according to the coaches in this interview process, that, you know what, he's probably back and he is ready to unload on the NFL. We'll have to wait until September to find out exactly what he's going to do. But it does sound like from this report, he's pretty dang focused and has a chip on his shoulder, wants to get back in the field and resume what he was doing last year. All right, all that done, set out of the way, and I'm sorry if I murdered any names in all that. It does happen. Well, let's get over to the main topic of the day. Ahmed Hassanein came on the scene. We all get it. The kid's got everything. If you're a coach, let me start over. If you're a coach, what would you want in a player you draft or sign in college or whatever? Do you want passion? I would say most of the Duke crew and everybody watching would say, yeah. Do you want athleticism? Probably also high on that list. Do you want a willingness to learn? And I would say this probably often gets overlooked by coaches. When you look at a player and they're just athletically gifted all over the place, then you say, man, that's something to work with. But if a player, I don't care, male, female, whatever level you're at, if they're open to coaching, if they're open to being developed more and more, that's a big plus. From what you know, Duke Crew, anybody watching this live or later on delay or whatever, replay, hey, when you look at this kid, from what we've heard about him in rookie OTAs or training camps or whatever, when you've seen him on the field, what you've heard his college coaches talk about, the scouts talk about, Brad Holmes talk about, Dan Campbell talk about, what's the downside to this kid? Can you think of one? The only thing I've got so far is just he needs more, it would appear, technique, skill, development. He's got everything else. Like I said, he's got the passion, he's got the will, the desire, the grit. Hey, I know that word's going to get thrown out there at some point. So he's got all those things. And from talking or hearing from a number of the coaches, he's already showing signs of improvement. Why? Probably because he's coachable. Probably because really the only thing holding him back so far is technique. How quickly can he learn technique? Well, it does sound like Ahmed Hassanein has already, in his family, have already reached out or gotten some people who are NFL vets, coaches, etc., to work with him on helping speed up that process. It needs to beg the question. We all understand that prior to Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, this franchise was dead awful at drafting players and developing players. For every one you hit on, there was another one that was an absolute collapse, disaster. Why that happened, I don't know, man. We could probably do a 4-week episode on that. What we do know in recent years with this tenure or this coaching regime, front office regime, they've hit on a whole lot of guys, and they seem to follow the same pattern over and over and over. They pay attention to the personality type of the player. And yes, you've heard me talk about this for years. It's massive in overseas markets. If you don't have certain personality traits, they don't draft you, they don't go after you, they don't sign you. And you do see that happening, I think, more and more in North American sports. Detroit Lions, I will give them a lot of credit. I think they're front runners, and you see other teams in the NFL now following what the Lions do. You look at Ahmed Hassanein, and you see a lot of similarities between him and a Jack Campbell, or how about a Penei Sewell, or a Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, you get it. There's a lot of similarities there, and you could probably go through every Lions player and say, you know what, I see a whole lot of the same with that. Now you look at the kid, and you look at his size, you look at his athleticism, and his willingness to learn, to develop. How much expectation should we all have for him in the preseason games? And I think they'll be huge, not just for all the rookies, but especially this guy. If he gets 1 month of nothing but snaps on the field against NFL players or some guys that are at least high-level possible NFL players, will he improve? I don't know if he's going to start on the first string, second string, third string, 25th string, but I suspect we'll get a pretty good idea about where the Lions coaching staff thinks he can be probably by the second or third preseason game. If he starts week 1 in the Hall of Fame game on the third string, and then by week 2 or 3, he's on the second string, what's that tell all of us? The coaching staff wants him to get more and more snaps against higher level competition because they see either A, he is improving, or B, there's better opportunity for him to improve. This guy's got the motor to go after him. I know a lot of you guys say, man, put him opposite Hutch. Both of these guys are high motor dudes. They're going to, tear up the backfield. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think when Ahmed Hassanein gets on the field, we're all going to notice it the very first play because he's going to run through a wall. And you know what? That guy, that type of guy in practice, in preseason games, he's always going after you. Whether it's just to prove himself or just simply who he is, I'll leave that to you guys to debate. But he could end up being, and take it with a grain of salt, because right now it's all could be stuff, but it does seem like he's got all the stuff out there to become someone that in time, maybe the rookie year, I would say, hey, hold expectations down rookie year, maybe by year 2 or 3, he might be a starter for the Detroit Lions. If he can learn to set the edge and bulk up just a little bit more, which I think any NFL player comes in, realistic expectations, they're going to bulk up a wee bit between year 1 and year 2, just because of all the services now provided to them, the training staff now to them, just the fact that this now is a full-time occupation. You're going to see NFL players, let alone coaches, whatever, put in a gajillion hours every week throughout the season. This is your profession. You want to stay in that profession, getting those checks, because you know what? Chance of you making that kind of money somewhere else is probably pretty limited. But for this kid, I think he's going to run through walls. I think everything you're hearing from the Lions themselves, let alone off-the-record coaches working with them, plus the people now being employed to work with them during the offseason, I think the Lions might have just found their next Christian Mahogany, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't know, Rodrigo, whoever you want to throw out. Mid to late round find that might just pan out. It would appear to me, just not everybody in the Duke crew, but everybody in the Lions fandom is rooting for this guy. And because he is a likable character. He's got the right personality traits and whatever. He's got some charisma too. Make no mistakes about it. I think a lot of people can identify with this story. Just kind of the Rocky Balboa, Cinderella story, whatever you want to say. He is a story we're all probably going to be following this year. And you know what? I can't wait to see him in training camp and preseason games. All right, I've rambled on. A little bit too long, but if I had to guess right now in my way too early predictions for him, I think probably by year 3, he is a starting end for the Detroit Lions, and we're probably all celebrating another late round find. What say you, though, Duke Crew? Do you think he's got more potential to make it, or do you think he's got more possibility to bust? Let me find out what your thoughts are in the comments section. Give me a second to roll up to the top of the screen, and let's get to the Duke Crew. JDC, morning all. Back at you. Good to see you as always. Gunny, howdy Dan, the Duke Crew fam. You said it. This team has a lot of depth and competition. No slack off days in camp. I agree with that. May I get a triple? Woo! All right, you want a triple woo? I'll give you a triple shot of woo as soon as I scroll around and find it on the screen. 1, 2, and 3. And there you go. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Nothing like great expectations to pipe a guy up. Exclamation point. Woo! I'm down with that. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. What a team. What a podcast. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Good to see Henry Moore, as always. Trey, what's good, Duke Crew? Question mark. Hey, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but the Tigers are having a year. Also, I'm really pulling hard for Ahmed to be successful. I think we all are pulling for the kid. Second, the Tigers, yes, it does sound like they're having a great year. Hey, maybe they make the World Series. I don't know, but it does sound like they've got at least pushed into the conversation. JDC, Mike the Marine Gunny, that's a lot of woos. I am with you 100% this morning. JDC, puff, woo, coffee, and Lions Talk Live. I like the way you're thinking. Mike the Marine Gunny, you know it, brother. GDC, woo, Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Trey Tippin, I think I think the Tigers are a player away from having a chance to win it all. Hassanein has it all going for him. Just give the coaches some time to develop his talents. Yeah, 100% there. I think they're going to take some time. Maybe we see something from him this rookie year. That is possible, but I do think based on all the metrics out there with the kid, would you, if you're a college coach, would you sign this kid? I think the vast majority of college coaches I know would, because again, he's going to give you an A effort every day. Same in the pros. Why wouldn't you take a kid like this? He's got the size, he's got the tools, he's got the talent, he's got the mental wherewithal. Man, I just don't see a downside to him. But you could probably say that with 99% of the Brad Holmes draft picks. All right, Trim Raver, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Good to see you, Trim. Just greetings, salutations, Coach. I was thinking of you and your town when watching the news yesterday. Did I understand correctly that you had 10 tornadoes last week? Question mark. That's crazy. So not in Kalamazoo, but all around Kalamazoo. I want to say it was last Thursday. They now say they can confirm. I think it was 9 tornadoes. But to your point, Kalamazoo, Martin, Battle Creek, a lot of surrounding areas, Olivet, a lot of different areas got hit with tornadoes. I don't know if they're all individual or if it was just one that kept hopping around. That I can't speak on. I just don't know. All right, but thank you for that, Jess. Trim Raver, did anyone else reach out to Pepsi-Cola for a due sponsorship? Let us know in the comments section. Steve, good morning, Coach, and the amazing Duke Crew! Exclamation point. I think they're going to have a hard time keeping Ahmed Hassanein off the field. I think this kid is special. I agree with you, man. I think he might start as a backup or on special teams, but I do suspect there will be games his rookie year he's going to get on the field and hey, see what he earns. France, Stephanie Wander, hard not to like what he brings to the field. Size, hustle, speed, and effort. I agree with all of the above. Pierce, say yes to Ahmed, exclamation point, and no to Devin Hurt. All right. Clark, yo. A big if on Hassanein, but if he pans out as a rookie, he's another depth piece for Bo's rotation, 100%. JDC, Stephanie Wander, how's the training coming down? We'll find out. Pierce, Ahmed, all right, come on. Ahmed is this class's Rodrigo. Ooh, could be indeed. A lot of fun. Some great depth battles at safety and cornerback and edge, rotation. I love seeing other teams start to slow down in the second half when playing Lions. Agreed. We will wear some teams down. Big Eddie, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Anyone see the skipper on the coaches podcast? Yes, 100%. Laughing out loud. I think he didn't hold anything back. He's not a fan of teams playing internationally. Yeah, that I would agree with you, Eddie. He made that pretty clear. Let's see, Pierce. Coach, how about a skipper? Woo! I'm working on it. I need to still clip it, man. I get it. I'll add a hunt. Good. Devin puts the hurt on you. Let's hope Davenport or Devin. Man, you guys are gonna say me have Devin hurt. Davenport, hopefully he drops the boom on other teams. Stephanie, JDC, my body feels so beat up in a good way, though. It's been a brutal few weeks. Yeah, I know you're going after it and keep it going. The Trim Reaper, Stephanie is a highly trained assassin at this point. Could be accurate. JDC, keep the blankety blank NFL in the U.S. of freaking A. Hey, we'll see what happens. I know, but let's be fair. It's not just the NFL. I mean, we all get that Major League Baseball for decades has been in Canada and the U.S. Same with the NHL. I do personally believe, I think you're going to see probably within 3 to 4 years, the NBA go international, and the NFL is not far behind. I mean, they're businesses. They want more money. All right, Marcus, good morning. Dan, the Duke Crew, exclamation point. Go Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan Panthers, Detroit Spirit, Shock, Vipers, and Drive. Hey, how about just all Detroit sports? There you go, Marcus. Drake, good morning, Duke Crew fam. We need to do a full breakdown in the front office coach. How are we now so successful in the draft after decades of not being good? I think it's just you get the right people and you set up parameters for those people. You know, I can't speak for every location or every sport, but I know the ones I've worked with over the years, they have certain parameters, things they identified. You've got to look for these traits for it to be one of our type of players. And it does seem like the Lions here are holding firm to that. So good, kudos for them. They're sticking to the game plan. JDC, Stephanie Water, I'm sure it is. Keep on trucking. Lions Talk Live is cheering you on. No doubt there. JDC, go Lions, go Tigers. We'll go at both. Bo Booth, Stephanie, do you have a fight schedule? I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. Trey Reaver, and go Stephanie. There you go. 5 Variants Friday. Drake Lisbon, good point. So what are we doing now that it didn't happen prior? Hey, you're doing the right stuff. How about that? Whatever we say. Marcus, the Bears will barely win 5 to 7 games. Their schedule is just as brutal as ours, and they have to learn a new system. Could be accurate, 100%. Let's root against them. I'm down with it. JDC, greetings, salutations, coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point, back at you. Stephanie, thanks, JDC. And yes, Bo, I have one scheduled, on a contract for 3 matches total. First one will be at an event in Vegas. There you go. Let's see, Rob, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. The Lions are the grooviest stadio. Man, I feel like it's been a hot second since I've seen you type that. Pierce, Bo Booth, the episode I have been waiting for. There you go. Stephanie, thank you for that. Shout out to Coach Dan for helping with this. Hey, anytime. I know it was always fun training you for basketball and stuff. So I don't know, maybe some of that stuff helps, maybe it doesn't. I'll let your trainers decide that. Bo, let the Duke Crew know when. Exclamation point. I'm sure most will want to watch. See if she throws it out there. I'll let her divulge that. Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. Just keep them picks developing and improving our team. I think that's wise words of wisdom. JDC, coach rocks. No, yeah, the Duke Crew rocks, and they roll. Rob, put the world on alert. The Lions aren't the only big cats walking the streets of Detroit. 31-16 leads the NBL. Yes, it does, man. The Tigers have been awesome this year. Bo, no way, Pierce, exclamation point. Ahmed is your guy, question mark. JDC, tick, 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 always ticking. Hookadoo, good morning, crew. Since the draft, I had to have a gut feeling Ahmed Hassanein was going to be part of the Lions' future, exclamation point. Ours in the house, 100%. Horace in the house, excuse me. Let's see, Sosman Long, if this class works out well, I don't care what anyone says, Brad is in the Lions Hall of Fame. Hey, that could be a factual statement. Gunny, reminder to hit the thumbs up button. Do it for Dan. Do it for the Duke Crew. Yeah, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And thanks for that, Mike. Steve Rogers, let's hope this guy can get to the quarterback. We need more D-line that can. Yeah, I'll go with that. The more guys you can have that get in the backfield, the better. Pierce, Bo Booth, only way I can say yes, exclamation point. Black J.R. Jones, and we're going to the Birds game coming up. Would love to see you there, One Pride. We'll find out. Love everybody share that information in the comment section. JDC, I'm starting to get frigidity for football, Lions football, 100%. You're about 2 months away, maybe a little less. Voltron Force, good morning. Back at you. Trim Reaper. Why was Cinderella such a lousy football player? Because her coach was a pumpkin. Aha. JDC laughing. Big D, morning crew. Bo. Trim, dad joke of the day. Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Kurt Steele, what up, though, Duke Crew? What's up, man of Steel? How you doing? Trim Reaper laughing. Jim, let's get on with some football. I am impatient. And man, you aren't the only one. I think we're all chomping at the bit. Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. Let's hope Ahmed is one of our answers at defensive end. He looks good. Exclamation point. Woo. And I think you're right. I think the fact that this guy, I don't think there's anybody out there that thinks this guy's taking a playoff, a day off, etc. He's in it to win it. I think it's going to pan out for him. JDC, yep, Trim, morning dad jokes, nothing wrong with that. Hookadoo, yes, Stephanie Water, please keep us up to date on your fight schedule. Love to see you kicking some butt, grit, 100%. And yeah, if she shares it, If she shares it in the comment section, or if she shares it with me and says I can put it out there, we will. And who knows, man? Maybe we can even do a live cast for it or something like that. Everybody can cheer on in the Duke Crew comment section. Phil, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Back at you. Paul, morning, Dan and crew. Exclamation points. Woo, woo. And back at you. Trim River, surely we all have a good dad joke. Hey, let's hope so. DM5, hit the like on our way in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thanks for that, DM5. David, hey, good to see you, my friend. I hope Ahmed comes in and is as disruptive sooner than later, but let's not add additional pressure on the kid. 100%. Let him take his own path up there. I like the way you're thinking there, David. JDC, I do. Let's see, Trim River, I enjoy a good dad joke, and don't call me Shirley. We'll try to avoid that. Bo, don't call us Shirley. There you go. Chuck, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a day. What a day to be a Lions fan. Go Lions. Woo! Well said, my friend. Well said indeed. The Trim Reaper laughing. Kurt Steele, be right back. We'll see you soon. DM5 Davenport with 8 to 9 sacks this year. Book it. It's booked, says Dano. Phil, what do you call a row of rabbits walking backwards? A receding hairline. Big D laughing at Phil. JDC, oh boy, here we go at 100%. Man Bear, good morning. Phil, dad jokes. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. JDC, Rainbow Field, home of the Lamers. I agree. Trim Reaper, Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew is the best part of waking up. Hey, have a little Duke Crew in your cup. I don't know where to go with that. Robert, greetings, salutations. Greetings, everyone. How about that? Exclamation point. Lions are destined to win it all many times. Let's go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Let's win the Super Bowl this year and then keep it going. Pierce, JDC, wouldn't it really be the Lackers? There you go, laughing out loud. Tuck Speed, weren't we this excited about Broderick Martin? Let's just wait and see. 100%. I still am hoping out that Broderick Martin will work out this year. I get most people are kind of writing him off, but there are a lot of guys in the NFL, not just with the Lions, that took 3 years before they really found their stride. I'm hoping he's the next one because you know what? That'd be really beneficial for the team. The dude's got size. He's got mass. He's got wheels. It's just, getting the technique down. Pierce, let's see, Tuck Speedman, I wasn't. Arnold, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Back at you. Tuck Speedman, he's the next Bruce Smith. I hope so, man. That's who I often compare Aiden Hutchinson to. I think their mass, their arm length, their waist, their shoulders, a lot of things about Aiden really remind me of Bruce Smith. Let's see. Coach Rock, good morning, all. I'm thinking with a little coaching up, Hassanein will be just fine out there. He has plenty of vets to pick their brains, 100%. And I think he'll be the guy out there doing all of that. Jay Ware, good morning, Coach Dan, and the most reliable Detroit Lions podcast. Thanks for always having the honest, unbiased opinion on the team. I'm so pumped for the season. Let's go Detroit. Hey, I share my thoughts. I know not everybody's going to agree with them, but nor should you. Go, I share my thoughts. I know everyone on the Duke Crew shares their thoughts. Find what works for you. That's all any of us can do. Cynthia, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. My gut is still telling me Hassanein will be a force and will advance quickly. I think you're right with that. Paul says 17-0. I think, man, wouldn't that be great? Bo, Tug, it's a thing. Exclamation point. We all root for someone like Ahmed this time of year. Never forget, TK85 is alive. This is true. ARF, why did the snail paint S on the car door? We'll find out. The snail paint S on the car door so people would say, look at that S car go. AR, grandkids jokes. There you go. Brian, good morning, everyone. Our schedule is pretty hard, but I think we'll go 13-4, Super Bowl bound. Woo! I like the way you're thinking. Hookadoo, Cynthia, have the same gut feeling? I think a lot of us do. JC, Pierce Sargent, Rainbow Field, home of the lame. I'll just go home of those guys. Mary, good morning, Duke Crew and Lions fans. Have a blessed day. Same with you, Mary. Good to see you as always, my friend. DM5 TV, I think we beat the Commanders and lose to the Eagles. Could be. We'll find out. DM5 TV, we had them last year with a bum defense. We with a healthy D, we can beat the Commanders. I like the way you're thinking. Okay, Trump's a genius. If you get these globalists involved in the NFL, will be flag football within 5 years. Who knows, man? I don't know. Leave that to Goodell. Kim, the GOAT predicts the Lions to be behind both Vikings and Packers due to new coordinators. He has all three teams around 9 to 11 wins. All right. The GOAT, I don't know. Is that Tom Brady? I will find out. JK, third world country junk. Well, could be. Hookadoo, 14-3 or better. Roar Detroit. I like the way you're roaring. Bo, Vikings are getting a raw deal. The only thing I can say about that, better them than us. I'm down with that. Tugs, don't like losing to top teams. They are saying we can't beat the top contenders in the league. We'll see if that holds true, though. I think we can win. Central Scrutinizing Greetings, Salutations, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. Woo! Good to see you, Central, as always. Michael, whose idea was it to send NFL teams overseas? Should be fired immediately. Hey, the NFL's after that money, man, and they know those tickets are going to sell out overseas because it's a rare commodity over there. I mean, it's rare here, too. It's even rarer overseas. Let's see, Silver Server, good morning, Coach and everyone. Back at you. Rob, Canada is a possibility, too. Yes, the CFL is there, but the average fan also follows the American game closely. Could be something. I wonder if it will happen, Rob. Phil, fly SpaceX to Europe in 30 minutes. Ooh, could be. DM5 TV, if we're 12-1 last year heading into the Bills game, I think that let that sink in. Only one loss. We competed with Buffalo. Imagine if Hutch, Davenport, Aleem were all healthy. Got this. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Phil, the territory of Alberta has a CFL team that could be in the NFL. Might be true. Phil, CFL, I'm down with that. Gary, Morning Dew Crew. Phil, what does Canadian Mountain Dew taste like? You know, that's one I haven't had. I've had it overseas in Asia. I've had it in Europe. And let me tell you, neither one of them am I interested in drinking it. Hopefully, the Canadian product is a little bit more familiar. JK, Black Velvet, hey, maybe it tastes like that. Lad of the Hunt, every time I do a record prediction, it comes out 13-4, and that's without Zadarius Smith and Ali McNeil out until Thanksgiving. Could be. We'll see. I hope we do get 13. Phil, thumbs up. Rob, Canadian Mountain Dew has no caffeine, so who cares about the taste? There you go. Bo, Maple Dew. Ooh, maybe that's what they do. Trey Reaper, Hutchinson will set the single season sack record. Oh, yeah, I'm down with that. Phil, no caffeine. Dew is the OG energy drink. You're not wrong with that. JK, Dew with Black Velvet Canadian whiskey. I like that. DM5 TV, this is our year, exclamation point. If we stay healthy, we are the best team in the NFC, possibly the entire NFL. Bo, does it have a little boy smile? JK, we'll find out. Silver Server, Coach, I expect the Bears to be good right away. They have been giving the Lions fits, even if not coached well. Ben Johnson is a manic, and you better believe he has been working like crazy. They have talent. I will agree with you there. I think the Bears are going to be a bigger threat than probably most people anticipate. I also think that is why the only divisional game in Week 18 is Bears versus Lions. Rob, not in Canada. The taste is very similar, but I tried to wake up to it one morning and a dive in Goodrich didn't go well. I'm down with that. Curtis, hey, good to see you, my friend. Needs reps. Yes, 100%. Ahmed needs reps. Good to see you, Curtis. Been a hot second. JK, it's got a little whooper smile. Yes. Hookadoo. He said it on the day of draft day in his call. He will die for you, Coach. Exclamation points. Ahmed is going to be a beast. I'll go with that. Term Reaper. Walking like an Egyptian. Hopefully he walks all over the quarterbacks like one. Phil, Ben Johnson, what is a weasel? He cost us playoff game. Make a joke of football. He did maybe do that. Hookadoo. Horace is in the house. I'm down with that. And Marcus, the Egyptian magician. Oh, hopefully he can magically appear in the backfield and take down the quarterback and running back. Pierce, Ahmed has said yes, exclamation point, and the Duke Crew says yes to him. I like the way you're thinking. Pat, no, I'm not worried about Bears. You can't throw players together and expect to have A. All right, Phil, I agree. Phil, I blame Ben Johnson. I think a lot of us do. Big D, I can see him doing the dance, walk like an Egyptian after sacks. I hope he does, man. And maybe even drops an elbow on the quarterback after he gets the sack. J-Mo Lions King, Ahmed is a little Dwight Freeney in him. Yeah, maybe he does have it. That's not a bad person to emulate. JDC, Ben Johnson is a skunk. I'm down with that. Jeff, Carla, bug bite on neck. Could be. John, love it, 100%. Silver Server. As far as Caleb, I can see he has personally a lot of physical talent. He does not give up and passes for lots of yards, breaking records. He has yet many high draft picks. Bears are rivals now. I think there could be. Yes, 100%. The Bears could be. Big D, his dad joined in on Woodward Sports and talked him up. Let's see how he talks. Phil, haven't the Bears always been rivals? I would say so. Yeah, I think, man, the Lions are rivals with everyone in the NFC North. Let's be real. Pierce, Servicer, assuming Ben Johnson is not the second coming of Josh McDaniels. We'll find out. Hookadoo, Big D, his dad was on Lions Talk Live about a week ago. Yeah, I think in the comment section. That's true. John, yeah, you got to love the person that understands the American dream is there and is willing to do whatever it takes to go get it. 100%. It does seem like the kid, hey, he's going to do whatever he can to be as successful as possible. Hard to root against that dude. Big D, that's awesome. Rock, agreed. Stephanie, the Tigers are a player away, and I would go out and get a top-notch closer. I believe that would put them over the top. Let's see if they do it. Phil, his brother shows up in crunch time and is really good. He would come on the show if I asked, I suspect. Ask him. Yeah, anybody can come on the show. It's not whether or not they get up in the morning. Most of the people I reach out to, like the vast majority, they just simply say that time doesn't work for them. They're getting ready for work or whatever. But somebody wants to hop on, I'll have them on. Phil, show. I knew where you're going with that. Big D, the city will embrace him and the family. I believe so too, man. Pierce, I think Ahmed starts before year's end. Wouldn't that be something? Big D, ask him, Phil. Maybe Dan can interview him. 1,000%. 1,000%. Robert, woo! I like the way you're thinking. Pat, not worried with the Bears. You can't throw players together and expect to have winning culture. Lions are very good at finding cultural players. Ben just spent a lot of money. That might be accurate. DM5, Ukwa is going to improve as well. He's been working hard. Yes. Hey, what do we keep talking about on the show? Everybody's having to compete just to make the 53. There's going to be a lot of guys working their tail off this preseason, during the season, this summer. I think you're spot on, DM5. Should make the team and contribute too. I think so. Todd, his brother has joined on Rocked on Lions, I believe. Could be. Bo, sorry, Coach. Pip from Dickens' story, great expectations. There you go. I knew where you're going. Well, I think I knew where you're going with it. DM5, Rocked on is so boring. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his beef is. He's the one guy, most of you guys knows this. I'll have anybody on the show. He's about a year or so ago. We'll just say he wasn't so kind. I did ask him if he wanted to come on the show, and his response, I just got the impression that's a firm no. That's probably the best way to word it. Pierce, both trying to be very positive today. So we say yes. Well, let's go with that. Bo, yes. Oh yeah, I'm down with that. Silver Server, Pierce Sargent, even Ben Johnson is not a leader of men, as some like to believe. It would take some time to begin with. It will hold. Let's hope so. It does hold up. Hookadoo, yes. Pierce, Kurt Steele, Ahmed has great potential. I agree with you 1,000%. A lot of the Hun, Silver Server about Chicago, you can have all the talent in playbooks, but you need time for chemistry. I'm going off history, but who knows? Yeah, the fact that we get them week 2, that could be a big one for us. Let's see, Chuck, they just have to use the first string starters to make sure they are not rusty like they were last year. A lot of these draftees will be rotated into starting positions rather quickly. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Jennifer, Manu could be a force this year too. A Brad project also, exclamation point. I think he's going to be. My personal thought is, man, him and Skipper are probably competing for a lot of the same reps. Let's see, Pierce, Stephanie Willer, any certain fights scheduled? Laughing out loud, we'll find out. I know she said earlier in the comments that she's got one scheduled, and I think that's what she's training for now. Other than that, I don't know. Rob, the NBA has a T. All right. Bo, she is fighting in Vegas, Pierce. Rob, the NBA is already in Canada. Yes, they are. They are indeed. Correct. Pierce, Bo Booth, wait, seriously? Pat, plus rail pointer is not golf. Don't think he will be able to run Ben's offense. Painter. There you go, nail painter. Michigan Panther Pride, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. Back at you, Pierce. Bo Booth, I was joking about a certain broski fight. I get what you're saying there. And then I have no idea on that one. Let's see, Jennifer, Panthers June 8th against the Stallions playoffs. Hey, let's go cheer them on. Carrie, Aladdin the Hun, agreed. Hook to do. Yep, she's fighting in Vegas, Pierce. Silver Server, Aladdin the Hun, I think Ben Johnson is smart enough to install a simplified version of the playbook to begin with. Good enough to allow Caleb to express his talents, but he knows Detroit's inside and out. Yeah, probably a lot of familiarity with both aspects, us and them and us. DM5 TV, Stephanie, Steer Manu is working hard too. Definitely could fit into this year if someone is out. Correct. I do think Manu is going to take a spot this year and maybe even get some reps. Bo, he would have to come out of his basement first, Pierce. Maybe. Hookadoo, she already used that certain somebody as a practice dummy. I think she would obliterate that practice dummy. Pierce, Bo Booth, we always say no to Broski. There you go. Pierce, Hookadoo, laughing out loud. Michigan Panther Pride. Panthers to the playoffs, one step closer to bringing the championship trophy home. Exclamation point. Let's cheer them on. Bo, no Lord Vormir here. There you go. Silver Server, in the Lions soap opera season, I could very well see the Bears beating Detroit in week 2. I can only imagine he is already studying how to ridicule, I don't know what I'm trying to say, his former team. Plus, he is not well received. He is not well received here. Kerry, no more chances, broski. The Central Scrutinizer, how about those Panthers? Question mark. Tigers, Lions, let the big cats eat. Have a great day, everyone. Back at you, my friend. Michael, Brad has hit on most picks. I trust in him. Woo! Yeah, it's hard to root against him. I want to say he's hit on like 82% of his draft picks, leading the NFL during that time. Plus, they got to have another playmakers like the Lions do that made it look easy. They did make it look easy. Silver Server, Lions stay healthy. They are already stacked with good players. What a good managing and coaching job they're doing. I think that is correct. Silver Server, and hit that like button. Thank you for that. Bo, Duke Crew, Warriors, Princess Live cast. Woo! Yes, we could all cheer on. We'll see if she gives us the information. I'm not going to reveal it without her approval. Bears, DM5 TV, we can start with 8 to 9 games played first. If everyone is allowed us to use history for topics, I can go with that part. We'll go with that. Yes, 100%. Derek, good morning, coach and crew. I'll say it again. Nobody in the NFC North gets more than 10 wins except the Lions. Can I get a woo? Amen. You want a woo? I'll give you a woo. How about a 1, 2, and a 3? And will you go? Click on calm down, blue, cool drinkers. He hasn't put on pads and he's already in the Hall of Fame. Hey, let's hope he's that good, my friend. JDC, woo! Let's see, Kurt, Mary Steele, good morning. Let's see, Mary Smith, excuse me, good morning. Let's see, Pierce, Kurt Steele, what up, though? Life lessons in Lions. Lions have a sick D-line? I think so. Michigan Panther Pride, what up, Kurt? Kurt, what up, though? Michigan Panther Pride, what up, Doe? Big win for the Panthers this week. Number 1 seed, loading, 100%. They are loading. Michigan Panther Pride, yes, sir. I believe they will bring the conference championship and the league championship home. Let's make that so. Click them. Staying healthy and flawless, error-free quarterback play is the key to winning this year. I like the way you're thinking. Life lessons in Lions. What has Hassanein RAS score? I don't know what his off the top of my neck. I don't know what his RAS score was. If somebody can look that up real quick and throw it in the comment section, that'd be great. Silver Server, if Broderick Martin really ever blossoms as of this training camp, that Detroit defense could be a wall, no matter who else they got at edge. To your point, if Martin does develop, along with, man, you think about all the people they have at defensive tackle, and maybe some of those guys play the big end opposite Hutch. You're right, man. It may be dang difficult to run on it, and if we can get pressure out of it, now it's difficult to pass on us too. Staying healthy and flail is error. Quarterback play is the key to winning this year. I'd like the way you're thinking. I'd say it's pretty universal. Gary, still save 14-3. I'm down with that. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says defense wins the big one. I like it. Bo, 14-3. Staying healthy. Yeah, I think we got that one. Yep. DM5, Pierce Sargent, this is the year you become a Davenport believer. 9 sacks. Man, if he does that this year, I think we're all going to be a believer. Silver Server, Hassanein is very athletic. He is indeed. Kurt Steele, don't forget to hit that like button for Coach Dan. Thank you for that very much, my friend. Kurt Steele, the Bears acquired talent every year, but failed to build a team. Oh, that's a shot at him. Rob, the Bears don't play as a team. I don't think they have in a while, man. No, got to go with the boat plan, man. There you go. Hookadoo, I agree. Kurt, JDC, everybody in the NFL is back to square one. Everybody's 0-0. Go Lions. Lions, let's see if we can change that. Let's wait until the kid puts on some pads and plays against pros talent before we put him in the Hall of Fame. Hey, I guess, man, we can calm our expectations down a little bit. Johnny V, let's face it, Hutch is going to play about 65% of the snaps. We need at least 7 defensive ends. Yeah, my problem, if you guys remember early in his career, is they were playing like 90% of the snaps. And at some point, that's just not sustainable on the human body. I like in recent years, they've trimmed it down, or at least last year, down to 80%. And then later, before the injury, I think they even got it like 75. Hopefully this year, they can keep it between 70 and 80%, somewhere in that range. Ahmed Hassanein has name about Ahmed Hassanein. You're going to be surprised when you have good organization and coaches. Wait until he's on the field with God will. Yeah, I believe in the kid. I think he's going to be great. I like everything from the mental aspect to the desire, the passion. And we're not even talking about the athletic part. He's got to be developed a little bit more. I think we all get that, but what rookie doesn't? For the most part, all rookies do. Let's see, Bo, good day, Madej. There you go. Say, Madej, I'm Ahmed Hassein's father watching your show from Cairo. Hey, you 5-10 minute interview with you. Hookadoo, welcome back, Mr. Hassanein. Great wins. I like the way you're thinking. Thomas, hold on here. Thomas, we're getting a little problem here. I can't get anything to switch. All right, I'll just read them on air and even until it starts switching. Thomas, I believe we should have 2 bye weeks every NFL season for obvious reasons. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. Kurt Steele, we have a good boss up ball out show this morning, 8 a.m. We'll check it out. Miles Bar, it's all about grit. Welcome to the Pride Monday. There you go. Thomas, Martin is gone. Trust me, could be true. JDC, Motor City Duke Crew, Kerry, signed Zaboom now. They maybe have. Bo, his RAS score was 7.8. Hey, there we go. It unglitched. Hookadoo, Miles Martin, they finally get your internet up again. Yes, grit wins. I like it. I like it. Kerry, tick, tick, tick. There you go. JDC, woo. Trim Reaper, have a great day, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo. Back at you, Trim. Miles Martin, hi, Hookadoo. No, hope not yet. Okay, well, hopefully they do soon, man. You've been going through it a lot lately. Kerry, happy trails, Duke Crew. Stay safe. Woo. Back at you. Bo, happy trails, Duke Crew. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then, my friend. JDC, happy trails, go Lions, victory. And hey, always a Lions victory. Miles Marger, football Lions, one pride. I like the way you're thinking. All right, guys, it's about that time for me to get off the air and actually get ready for work. So if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, along with hitting the thumbs up button, the like button, all the ones. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quickly as possible. Otherwise, take care. Enjoy your day. Have a great day. Do something kind for someone you don't know. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.